Magic happens in the U.S. Open. Caitlin Clark is ridiculous, and the NBA Finals could go either way. This and more next on Goode Sports. So I'm Randy Goode, and I'm joined alongside Trent and Cameron, and we also have Drew, and we are excited to be back. We have another exciting week, a lot of things to talk about, and before we get started, always hit that subscribe button. Please hit that real quick, share it with your friends, hit that bell. You'll get the latest and whatnot that we have coming out, and we really do appreciate all that support. But we want to start off and talk about the U.S. Open. Not normally do we talk first thing about golf, but if you haven't seen JJ Spaun, a player that's been in the tournament, I believe, multiple times, 8 times in major tournaments, never finished higher than 23rd place, comes in, rolls up, he's on the 18th on the final hole, and all he has to do is get a par. Not that that's simple always. He's in a big pressure moment. He approaches the green. He's about as far away as you can possibly be, and he hits an unbelievable, beautiful shot, drains it. He only had to 2-putt. He makes it in 1. It ended up being the longest putt of the day. What a great moment for him. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to start off with Cameron. You seem to really appreciate golf in a way. You kind of got me actually excited about looking into that a little bit more. What did you think of how things went? U.S. Open, if that was you, I mean, can you imagine you're in the tournament? Do you think JJ went, you know what, I think I got this tournament coming up. I think this is my tournament, and then he wins it. What do you think?
I think the thing about Oakmont specifically is looking back at Oakmont through the years, this year was probably the toughest it's been. The roughs were like 5 inches long. Mm-hmm. It was awful. And not to mention on the last day it started raining.
Yeah.
So that adds another extra thing.
Yeah.
The fairways are like 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
They're super small. The greens run like you wouldn't believe. There's a clip of someone, Drew, you might find this. I don't know. You don't have to if you don't want to. This is post me editing a podcast. I realize how annoying that is, so I'm not going to make you
You
look
just
that
edited
up.
yourself while you were speaking?
Yeah.
You should play this clip. Never mind, don't.
Yeah, it's a pain. But there's a clip of a guy, he's chipping out from like 150 yards, somewhere in there, somewhere short, and he hits the pin. Yeah. Like 4 foot up, hits the pin, and it bounces back and rolls back like 80 feet off the green. Like Oakmont is notoriously known for being a terrible course, and it's probably the hardest course in the U.S. Open. But seeing someone like JJ win is cool because it's one of those courses where, you look at these big courses like the FedEx Cup and the Masters and all this other stuff, all these other courses, and they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty simple, and most of the time, the top players are in the top playing. They're the ones that are above the leaderboard. They're on top of it. They usually are the ones that win. But with Oakmont, it's anyone's game. Like if you mess up even a little bit, you're kind of screwed. It's hard to recover at Oakmont. And so for someone to stay on top for that long is really good. And he was the only player to shoot under par. Yeah. He shot 1 under par. Yep. Yeah. He could have won with a even par. Yeah. Because the next person below him was +1. Yeah. And if you looked at the people who didn't make the cut for the third day, DeChambeau, he was on there. McIlroy didn't make the cut. Mickelson didn't make the cut. That's just to name a few. And those are some of the top players in the world right now. I was looking at some statistics because I was just curious how impactful a win at the U.S. Open can be. And this puts JJ Spaun from wherever he was ranked. I don't even know. I think he was 30 maybe, somewhere in there, 30, 20, somewhere in that range. He's now ranked 8th in the world from this one win.
Wow.
He now has open invites to every U.S. Open event for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Some of the things you get. He got like $4.1 million from this or something.
4.3 million. Yep.
Yeah, a ton of money.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. He did it on Father's Day with his kid there. His wife was there. Really cool.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like I said, anyone can win it. And so it feels like the most it may be the worst course ever, in my opinion. I personally would never play Oakmont even if I was invited. I don't think I'd ever want to play that course.
Listen, I love that you brought this up because this was a controversy that I wanted to bring up during the US Open, which was basically Sam Burns got denied a relief on the basically a puddle on the 15th hole during the final round. And the refs are like coming over and they're like, no.
Yeah. You want to know their reasoning?
Yeah. What was it? What was their reasoning or what they said was the reasoning?
The refs said that in order for him to get relief, the water had to be visible.
Brother,
but you could clearly see it was in like an inch and a half of water.
Listen, he then started to hit his practice shots
and was just throwing
water.
Yeah, it's awful.
He could have been in a shower for all I knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
He could have been in the middle of the lake and they wouldn't have given him relief.
Sam Burns, who was actually playing great, which is why I love the fact that Cameron brought this specific detail up. Sam Burns at the time was actually playing great. Okay, and he had a chance to win this thing. He was still in it. And he had a solid chance of winning this thing. And it was from that double bogey that he never came back.
Yeah.
And just like Cameron said, that is the type of course
you can't come back.
Yeah. And he got a double bogey on that specific hole, screwed him for the rest of the thing. He was in it too.
He was denied casual water relief.
Yes. Yeah. Notice how it says casual.
Yeah.
No, this is the thing is they
golf
said,
is a different sport.
Not only that, but this is a ball that's like it's on the edge of the fairway.
Yeah.
Right on the edge of the fairway to the fringe, right?
Yeah.
And it's obviously sitting in a puddle.
Yeah.
Like if you see the pictures of it, the ball is literally half in a puddle.
Yeah.
And the people were these guys are basically like, oh well, no, and then he called for a second person's opinion, and the guy said, no, we're sticking with it, and I'm like, dude, imagine being that close,
that would be brutal,
and you're in the hunt.
I mean, we saw it. There was a tee shot that Rory McIlroy had that was just atrocious. And he proceeded to smash the tee box at the hole. And that wasn't even the worst damage that happened to that course.
Little Happy Gilmore.
There's a guy that is notorious for just being not a nice guy. And he destroyed 3 lockers in the locker room just out of pure anger.
I did not see that.
Yeah. I think his name is Wyndham Clark or something like that. But he sucks. And it's one thing to get upset and show emotion. I know a lot of people don't appreciate that on a golf course specifically. They don't like that you show emotion. They don't like when you have
those people have never watched Happy Gilmore.
Yes. Those people are more, what's the word? Old-fashioned, I guess I'll say.
Yeah.
But the thing is with especially a lot of the new golfers that are coming out, they're turning golf into less of a sort of high-end leisure sport into a competitive, high-flying sport.
I like watching passion.
Yeah.
I mean, there comes a point to where it can be obnoxious, but
totally.
I like passion. That's one of the things with JJ winning. I watched it several times, and in slow motion, you watch it in different, and seeing him, and as him and his caddy start moving to the left, and they're like, "Come on, go, 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 putt!" And just watching his putt, that was just awesome.
He hit a putt on hole 18.
18. Have you?
That was crazy.
Have
deep.
you ever?
Yeah,
have you ever made a long
60-foot putt?
Just
incredible.
have you ever made like not that type of putt, but I mean like a really long putt, just randomly? That's all you think about.
Yeah.
If you have one putt every 6 times out golfing, you're like, you always remember. I won a putter, and I remember my putt, and it was in a tournament, and it was totally lucky, but it went in, and I just like, this was the coolest moment ever. He not only makes a way harder putt than I've ever thought of making.
Yeah.
He did it in the 18th hole to win the U.S. Masters.
Yeah.
Or U.S. Open. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
What a moment.
I don't remember who I was telling
And
this
I'd
about.
want my wife, she clapped. She gave some golf claps. I'd want her jumping a little bit more. That's 4.3 in the bag. I mean,
Be a little more excited about that money.
His coach, if you watched his coach that had helped him, he was that I liked.
Yeah.
That was passion. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. Those are cool moments.
There's literally no better feeling than rocking a putt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I've done a lot of sports in my time.
Yeah.
You could score baskets. You could kick goals. You could score a touchdown. There's no better feeling
Yeah.
than when you hit a nice putt.
Would you rather in the World Series hit like a grand slam or hit a putt like that?
I'd rather hit that putt
In the majors,
10
yes.
times out of 10.
Yeah. I'd
I'm
rather
gonna get more money for hitting that putt.
Yeah. I don't know. Baseball pays pretty well.
Yeah, but specifically for the hit, you would
Yeah.
make more money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible. That's an incredible moment.
I think sticking the green is more like a little more.
It's definitely masculine.
Yeah.
It's definitely more masculine.
Like off
of a
the
play.
tee box, just funk.
Yeah.
5 foot from the hole, you're like, oh yeah, I'm that guy.
Next.
You know, I'm that
what'd you
guy.
expect?
You drive,
And then you
300
3-putt.
You
on
drive
a 5 foot.
You
but
drive
still.
300 off a tee box straight down the fairway.
Yeah.
That's the most masculine feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, my cousin used to have this saying. He'd be like, "Dang, I put a postage stamp on that one."
I think finishing a game and then you just watch or around and you watch the whole crowd just jump up and down.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And that you get that when you complete something. But Tiger forever, as he'd hit it, they'd always yell as soon as he's hitting off the tee. They're always saying whatever they would say, like, "Get him, Tiger!"
Yeah.
And he'd get it every time. But anyway, cool moment for JJ Spaun and his family. Good for them. Good for golf. I just think that was an incredible moment. And like you said, you brought it up, Cam. He was in the rain, even on the final putt. His caddy, he's having to go up with his umbrella. And I realize in sports, like a football player would say, "Oh, seriously, you're in some rain." But when you're talking about trying to move a ball on the grass,
it's
up
a
a
lot
hill,
more.
downhill,
It's a lot
not
more
the physicality.
yeah.
It's having to adjust to how much dew is there on that hill with that slope and this. And anyway.
Just like Cameron said, though, I love the fact that I think golf is turning for the young people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's more young people today
Just wait till July
turning towards golf.
when Happy Gilmore comes out.
Oh,
You're
it's
going to
gonna
have
be
a
electric.
whole new group.
It's gonna be electric.
All right, let's move on to the NBA. OKC is now up.
Do we have
As
to
of
cover,
now.
Do we have to cover this?
Yes, we have to cover it. It's good stuff, kind of. I think there's been a lot of neat things that have happened in this series, but OKC is up 3-2 right now. I believe it's going back to Indiana.
Correct.
And then OKC, if there is a Game 7.
Man, that's gonna suck.
It's a lot of traveling. They're bouncing back and forth.
It's gonna suck for OKC to lose in their own house.
It could happen. It could happen.
Listen,
I'd rather be OKC right now.
They didn't have the Halaban for half the game.
Yeah, but
Well, I don't know what's his deal. What's his injury status? Is he all right?
he'll be fine.
He left the game for a
He's
little
got
while.
drugs. They got drugs. He's going to be
fair
fine.
enough. But
Well, he also has black magic.
OKC
True.
does not play the same on the road. Their defense is not even close to the same.
They barely
on
play the
road.
same at home. They can barely
Yeah.
squeak. They barely squeaked the
listen,
other night out.
and just pure honesty. If this goes to 7,
Yeah,
if this goes to 7, who you trust to win?
OKC.
Really?
I'll tell
You're
you this,
crazy.
though.
You're
If it were-
crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust those kids to pick up my dry cleaning. And when I say kids, I mean kids, okay? I'm not trusting those kids to pick up my dry cleaning.
Okay, well, since you said this last time, you've lost more
goodness.
games than you've won.
Oh,
So, but anything could happen, especially with young teams. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Indiana, whenever you're in a game 7, obviously you want to be at home. There's a huge advantage there, but both teams are going to, be, I mean, both of them are not used to these moments. And who has so far performed the best under pressure of one athlete? Halliburton.
All I'm saying is they're at the age. OKC's at the age right now where don't be surprised if they poop the bed.
I think they're in a good place. Alex Caruso
Yeah,
to the rescue.
Do you really feel like they're gonna be? They're not gonna beat them in Indiana,
I'm gonna.
which gives Indiana the
I
momentum.
think they could. I
into
mean,
7.
I don't know what's. I don't know what will happen. I'm worried. I would be obviously a lot more worried about Game 6. If Game 6 and 7 were in Indy, I would say it's about a 50-50 type of thing.
Oh goodness!
But they have to win one game out of 2.
What's your odds on Game 6?
Boy,
Say 50,
game
say
6,
50-50 and I'm coming across this table.
Game 6. I would say it's closer to 50-50.
Oh my, there's no way.
And I'll tell you why.
There's no way.
I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you why. Okay. One, I've thought OKC is better to start with. 2, now Halliburton has been the opposite of this in the playoffs. He's been fantastic in the clutch. But when you are in the finals and you are on the brink and you can't mess up, the pressure is intense. And I think 90% of the NBA isn't ready for this pressure. And so now, because both teams are young, it can happen to both of them. But OKC knows they don't have to bring their A game, and they still have another one at home. If there's a bad quarter to start the game or a bad second quarter, or there's just a moment, it could be hard on a team. A young, and they're a younger team. I mean, they do have some, Pascal and Turner. They have a few, but it's not like an aging veteran team. So it's hard to predict when you have young teams. But I'd much rather be OKC right now.
I think the Pacers want it more.
Maybe. I don't know.
I have a proposal
'Kay.
because, and this is a proposal for the NBA because I feel like especially in the finals. If it makes it to a Game 7, there's one team that has, for some reason, home court advantage. They didn't earn it. They just have it. So I feel like if a series goes to a Game 7, instead of automatically going to whoever had the first game, it's
like
their home game.
Like a neutral spot?
No, they flip a coin. So heads, you go one place, tails, you go another. So it gives a chance for either team to play at home because they both won an even amount of games.
Okay.
Then you're not getting for sure you're playing at OKC.
Yeah, I mean I do see where Cameron's coming from, where the seeding obviously is how they decide currently who gets to play at home for Game 7. But the only problem with that is having two different divisions where they're coming from two different sides. Obviously, the Eastern Conference has been weaker for quite some time than the Western Conference.
Yeah.
So is it really fair like, let's say the Western Conference gets always to the final, but they don't have a better record than the team from the Eastern Conference. But the Eastern Conference played against a bunch of scrubs the whole entire year.
That's the thing is you never know how to do it because there's oftentimes one conference is way harder than the other.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
you get punished for that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Or they should just do a bubble for the finals.
So if they were to stick,
but they have to play it at a home because then otherwise fans would be upset. I would bet. I mean,
the NFL fans don't get upset.
That's true. Yeah, you know what? That's true. Okay, I'm all about playing in a neutral.
Yeah, play in a
stadium.
neutral place. Who cares?
So do you guys like the current format is 2-2-1-1-1? That's how it is. It's 2 home, 2 away. And then 1 home, 1 away, 1 home. It goes back. So there's a lot more traveling. They've done this different ways. Do you think that it should go 2, and would it be more balanced? And then you get 3 So the road team, the first 2 games, gets 3 in a row. So game 3, 4, and 5. They used to do this in the finals, and that was because I think we talked about it last time.
Because of the Lakers and
Celtics. And there's a lot of traveling here. It's not maybe as far, but that's a lot of traveling for these NBA players to go back and forth and back and forth.
I think that...
And would that make it more balanced? Only because if you're the road team and you split one on the road, you now can finish a series at home with 3 in a row. So do you like that better, or do you like what they do better? Cameron, you first.
I don't like either.
Okay,
I think the finals should be a neutral location. I don't know why the NBA has kept home courts. Like, I think for the finals specifically, it should be a neutral location. I think it's fine for the playoffs.
They did it.
I will say this finals feels really slow. Does that make sense?
Yes, I don't think there's a great team, to be honest with you. This does not seem like
the finals.
Well, I think we feel
so slow.
It feels slow for us because none of our teams are in the playoffs. We don't really have anything invested in it.
Definitely ain't got a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people to root for. But
how much cooler would this be though if we did it in a neutral place and you made it like the Super Bowl, where you have people coming from all around to go to a neutral place, and then you could play the games quicker.
So could you do that for just Game 7?
No, I'm saying you could do it just for Game 7, but why not do it?
That's only if they make it to Game 7.
Why not do it for all the games, and then you have this Super Bowl atmosphere, but it lasts for like
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah,
people would be fired up about that.
I think another thing would be
petition the NBA.
An easy way to set that place up is to do it based on the lottery picks. So you do it based on who has the first pick in the lottery, and they have now buzz on them for the first pick, and they now have the home court for the finals.
That's a good idea.
Good,
I actually like that.
So
I
now
really
that team has tons of buzz.
So you keep,
because half the time those teams that have the first pick, no one cares about them.
Yeah.
So what's good is you keep the home court.
Right now,
you keep the home court through the playoffs, so you do show it is important to have home court. There is an advantage.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you get to the finals,
which is what they do in the playoffs for football.
Yeah, when you get to the finals, then I think it could actually create more fandom for even. So let's say you're in Detroit and you don't have a team in the finals, but that's where the finals are. It actually creates a buzz for the city of Detroit.
Yeah, exactly.
As well as
it creates money
OKC,
for these smaller
so you
cities.
have now 3 cities that are benefiting instead of 1.
Yeah.
Or 2. So,
I love this idea.
Yes, this is good.
Hey, Drew, I want this typed up on my
I need you
desk
to
tomorrow.
I need you to send this to Roger Goodell.
Subscribe right now. Get us to 1,000, then he'll listen. We got to get 1,000 subscribers.
Roger Goodell knows Adam Silver, so he'll be able to
Silver won't listen unless we have 4 digits in our subscribers.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, good. That we got. Now, another thing, I'm just going to say this. This to me, this person has now become ridiculous. Okay, WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
Actually, they just call it the W, don't they? Isn't
the W?
I think they just call it the W.
It's called. Women? I think I should call it C squared because Caitlin Clark is insane. She's all right. I am utterly astonished. She might be. I hope a person like Caitlin Clark gets more endorsements than anyone. What she is doing for her sport, I think everybody should support her. What she just did this week. So first to put in perspective, she was out for 5 games in a row because she was hurt. She hasn't really missed much, so she just missed 5 games. Do you know how much she moves the needle? The WNBA viewership was down 55% while she was out. She comes back, gets the fans back, and she makes 3 threes in 38 seconds. And Drew, I'm going to have you show this, okay? 3 threes. And they're not threes. They should be 4s. She's closer to half court on these shots. I don't understand. Every one of these shots are stupid shots. And she's draining them. And to just sit there.
She wants to be Stephen Curry.
She is Steph Curry. She's Steph Curry. What she's doing is Steph Curry. I would say she is one of the most incredible athletes in all the athletes.
Do you think Steph will come back and her and him can do a 3-point competition?
I think it would be so fun to watch them do like horse or something from stupid shots.
They'll never do it.
Now listen.
Why not? They did it with what's her name?
Sabrina or whatever. And that was great. And she looked really good, but she's not. Caitlin Clark is
What?
Didn't she win?
Yeah.
No, Steph did.
yeah, Steph.
And they used her ball, which was so not cool.
Yeah, but Steph Curry was cool that he did that competition.
Yeah.
Because that is hard to do because he has a lot to lose.
Oh, he had everything to lose.
And he stepped up and went, crap, she just put a good number up.
We don't argue that he will die the greatest shooter of NBA history.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even think there's close.
Yeah, it's not even close.
No.
Yet he was willing to risk
it.
everything.
That's why LeBron and them didn't do the dunk contest.
If he loses that 3-point competition, he legitimately could have people saying that he's not who he is.
Yep. Yeah. But anyway, Caitlin Clark, I'm just so impressed. Now, on the other side, the person that tried to say it's Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, I think that whole thing is gone to bed because they are the only thing that people are viewing the WNBA with Angel Reese is the betting odds of how many games in a row she was going to miss the first shot. And boy, does she rebound. She rebounds so good because she misses 4 layups in a row. You know, she is nowhere on the planet.
I think you need to tell that to ESPN and Sports Center because
I just am right now. ESPN and Sports Center.
I don't think I've ever seen a post about Caitlin Clark, but I've seen 12 of Angel Reese.
Yeah. What about that, Randy?
All the posts are she's bricking every shot.
Oh no,
she should be a bricklayer.
I do think they're on like game 10 of the bet.
Yeah,
and it's still going.
Also, do you guys notice?
And that is the ugliest shot. I mean, somebody help her. She's got to work on her form. I mean,
we should be careful. She might send us a cease and desist.
Listen, she can send. Okay, if she subscribe, we'll say nicer things. So
listen, we have no problem shutting this podcast down and starting a new one.
my problem is with with her is I think she tried to put herself. Well, I don't blame her. I would have done the same thing. She's trying to put herself up on the same level as Caitlin Clark, and she's just not there. She's good little. I mean, she has a well-rounded game. I think Cameron, you were talking about before we came on this. She got a triple-double here recently or something.
Yeah,
I didn't see that. So I mean, she does do something. She's not Caitlin.
10
Clark.
points,
Caitlin
25
Clark,
rebounds,
10 bricks, 10 air balls. Should have been 10 fouls.
This is all I want to say about the Angel Reese situation, okay?
Oh,
and I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna cut it off after.
It's kind of mean at some point.
It is, but this is the problem, okay? She went out and she attacked Caitlin Clark.
She did,
and she wanted to be the Joker to Caitlin's Batman, okay?
Yeah.
And here's the deal: everyone is okay with that.
Yeah,
everyone was fine with that.
Yeah.
What I'm not fine with is she goes on an interview the other day. And she's now the victim. And she's like, oh, well, no one was protecting me when I won college championships, basketball. No one protects me against the racist Caitlin Clark lovers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, no one cares.
No.
About the situation. Okay, we were all right with you wanting to be the bad guy. Yeah. Everyone loves a good villain, okay? Yeah. That's why we have villain arcs. Everyone loves a good villain.
I just realized who Angel Reese is.
Who? What villain?
She's Dylan Brooks.
Oh. She's kinda.
That's actually
she is.
That
bad.
actually makes sense.
She is. She's like the Dylan Brooks to
as good.
Whoever he didn't like, or Lance Stevenson to LeBron.
Well, Dylan Brooks was to LeBron too.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks did that to everybody.
I think Dylan
That's
Brooks
true.
plays better defense than Angel Reese. But
Dylan Brooks plays for the Shanghai Sharks, and that's not even a joke. He actually is on their roster.
Listen, still a better basketball player than
oh
me.
my goodness. Let's just stop.
I could
Listen,
Dylan Brooks.
Angel Reese is not on the level.
She's the best player in the NBA. I don't know what you're talking about.
She is not on the level of Caitlin Clark. Everybody knows it. We just need to move on.
I think
it's
you're just
okay
racist.
to just be. I know that's what they say. If you say anything bad, you must be. It must be that. It has nothing to do with the fact that you missed 8 layups 4 straight games. It doesn't have anything to do with that. So anyway,
I will say
she'll bounce back. She's a decent player. She is not Caitlin Clark.
Not.
But she's
decent.
She's an effort player.
Huh?
She's an effort player.
She's an effort
puts a lot of
player.
effort in.
She's an effort player.
She's a player.
She's a Dennis Rodman.
She fills a spot on a roster.
This is where she messed up. she played the
joined
victim.
the
Yes,
WNBA.
she played the victim.
She played the victim when
Yes.
she originally portrayed herself as the villain.
Yeah.
If she would have just stayed the villain, everyone would have been okay with it.
Yes.
Everyone would have still criticized her.
And then it's harder for her.
But
when you
listen,
see
there's
Caitlyn
no
doing what
basketball
she's doing.
player not being criticized.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. There's nobody in the WNBA or the NBA that's not being criticized in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Okay? No matter how special you are, no how great you are, someone's criticizing you. Look at SJ, for example. Everyone criticizes him because he gets most of his points from the free throw line.
Free throw merchant.
Yep. Look at Halliburton, okay? Everyone criticizes him because he doesn't show up necessarily the whole game, just when he's needed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I know. But
Well.
here's the deal. Everyone gets criticized, okay? But they would have criticized you a lot less if you just would have remained portraying yourself as the villain.
Yes. Yes.
Where you messed up is you try to become the victim, and now no one
in
knows.
some ways, I don't know how much of it is behind the scenes where they're trying to PR and try to make themselves something. They tried to say this was Magic Bird, and
Well,
they tried
the
to do
WNBA doesn't really exist.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
is
it's
it a
not,
figment of our
Well,
imagination?
no, it's not an actual league.
Well, it doesn't make money.
They just it's a throwaway. It's the WNBA is I don't know if you guys are gonna know what this term is. It's they're the lolcow of sports. A lolcow is basically like in like social media terms, they're a person that everyone pricks and prods to get comedy out of, to laugh at. But they're
This is
not
the
in
thing.
on the joke.
Yeah, but the WNBA could be entertaining.
When
It could be.
Caitlin Clark
It
is
100%
entertaining.
could be. You know why?
Oh.
Listen, college women's basketball is more entertaining. Tell me the last time you watched a WNBA game. I can tell you the last time I watched a college women's basketball game. It's actually entertaining because they actually coach in the college basketball, women's college basketball. The problem about the WNBA is it's literally just a bunch of one-on-one ball, which is what the NBA is.
Yeah.
To give them credit. But it works in the NBA because you have freak athletes doing freak things.
Yeah.
In the WNBA, if they just ran actual offenses and were actually coached, it would actually be entertaining.
If you get, I don't know how you're going to do this. If you get more players like what I'm seeing from Caitlin Clark, I'd go watch a game. I would watch
more
Caitlin.
white players?
I would. No, it doesn't.
Whoa!
Wow, this
Caitlin-
guy.
Secret agenda.
This
No,
guy.
Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry have changed both of their sports, and they are fun to watch.
Yeah.
They are
Oh, so you're saying
fun to
so what
watch.
I'm hearing you say is Steph Curry's more influential than LeBron
Yes.
More influential.
Yes.
to the game of basketball?
Yes.
I think he's.
Let me answer that for you. It's a yes.
I would argue that is true. Yes.
I'm not
I
saying
would
that.
too.
I'm not,
I was just making
Yeah.
sure that we were all in agreement.
Yeah,
here.
I don't know that
LeBron
any-
James is the biggest freak athlete. I mean,
He's just the biggest freak.
He's amazing, but
I don't know,
But
Curry likes
changing
feet
the
pics,
game, Steph Curry has changed the game. He's changed the game, and there's only so many players that have totally changed the game, and he has.
Yeah.
You know who else has changed the game?
Who?
Desmond Bain.
Desmond Bain. Oh, segue.
Let's talk about it.
Segue. What a blockbuster trade. Desmond Bain and his 19 points a game gets two players, KCP. We got Cole Anthony, and
Shut
we
up.
have a first-round pick. Oh, no. 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bain, which means with who do we have coming up? I mean, we have Durant. He's looking as a potential trade partner.
Yeah.
He's going to get like 14 first-round picks.
He's kinda washed.
Giannis is going to get like 20 first-round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is if
Warriors are gonna put up
Desmond
so much
Bain
for
gets
Giannis.
6 players, 4 first-round picks, what is Giannis going to get?
Hey, but I just want to say, I think you're missing the big thing here. Desmond Bain has some real potential.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think he's worth that much. And I side with the Magic on this one.
You do.
I think this is a smart play.
So
He
And-
averaged
and-
less points this year than he did the year previous.
And you want to know why I think they actually did this?
why?
Because they were tired of the Mavericks getting all the attention for the worst trade, and so they said
They said I can one up that.
They said hold my beer, and they traded away
They want
everything they had.
They think they're going to get the first round pick next year,
Yeah.
the number 1 pick. The NBA will do that for them.
They did it about a month and a half too late.
Yeah.
On a basketball team that has Ja Morant, okay?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only statistic that went up for Desmond Bain in the year 2024 to 2025?
Turnover.
Is he
Fouls.
rebound a couple more times? That's the only stat. Everything
19
went
points a
down.
game.
Less steals, less
Now they'll be-
assists, less 3-point
They
percentage.
mortgage their future. Now, this is one thing though that on a related topic or whatnot, this shows that the NFL draft and the NBA draft are totally different. When you have the NFL draft, you can totally change your season that year by a good draft. In the NBA, nobody believes in the picks. If you're the 15th, you have the 15th pick, most of the time you're like, I don't even think that person's going to be a player for us.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's a problem. So
There's less people on the team.
so this goes to a different question, because it would suck, and I wouldn't want this if I was a player. But I did hear, I think it was Charles Barkley. I've heard a few people that were talking about this. Should the NBA require players to play 2 years out of high school because of the development? That this is part of the problem. They don't believe in fact, even if you get a second or third pick, oftentimes it's not until year 4 or 5 before they do something. So I think they're totally devaluing their picks and they're giving them up.
Well,
right
this
now.
is the problem. The actual problem with the NBA, okay, is these picks. They go and they draft these kids after they played 1 year in basketball, and by the time their rookie contract's up, they're just starting to play good.
Yes, it takes them that long.
It takes
Yes.
them forever.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know that that's necessarily how long they play in college, because we used to have young guys come straight out of high school and play in the NBA
Yeah.
and be successful.
LeBron James.
LeBron James,
So
Kevin Garnett.
football, they make them play 3 years or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
you have to play longer. It's a physical development. I just don't know what to do. I mean, it doesn't seem right and fair to make somebody have to play that long if you're good enough. But
What are we doing differently now that has screwed kids from being able to play sooner?
Being able to play sooner?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Being like superstars in the NBA sooner.
Not a lot of
Well,
rookies.
just because it's not even that
well.
they don't get playing time. It's that they just suck.
Yeah, it did.
Like, they just don't play good. I mean, every once in a while you get a diamond.
Very rare.
Like, you got Wembanyama who played good, and now he's a monk.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did see that.
But
there's not many
It's-
LeBron James. I mean,
it's-
Kobe, it took a while. KG, it took a while. I mean, they
Yeah,
have
but
moments.
even Anthony Edwards, who is currently our savior
Yeah.
for the NBA,
Yeah.
okay, he's the only thing giving me hope that the
Yes.
NBA is going to continue.
I agree.
Okay, even him, it took him a while to play at a high level,
Yeah, it does.
and I
So
still think he has a lot of room for growth.
That's why I think there's so many 10, 11th, the 10th pick, 11th pick. When you're at the 25th pick, you're like, the odds of that person even being a role player on our team are so remote. So they're just throwing away trades.
Listen,
They're throwing away picks.
I'm willing to try it. In fact, I wouldn't do 2 years. I would just go straight to 3 years.
3 years.
First of all,
Like the NFL.
yep, and I'm willing to try it, but I think somehow, some way, it's causation, not. Wait, how do you say that?
I don't know.
Like, they're not related. I don't think
Oh.
they're related in the issue, but
You
I'm
don't-
willing to try it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They got to figure something out. It's just that's why they went away from the rookie situation, because there's so many players, and they look at he's showing Caitlin Clark in the background.
Yeah.
What she does, and look at this. I love this. You don't see this, and I love that passion in sports. Sorry, you're not getting to see it. She's sticking her tongue out after her third three. She's calling for the ball. It's beautiful. All right, well, back to the NBA Finals since we're in that. I have a question because I don't understand this, and I'm confused by this, and it doesn't seem right. So you have this trade that we're talking about with Bain that just happened.
Yeah.
How does a trade happen during the NBA Finals? I do not understand this. Now, I thought I was told you can't do trades during the playoffs. You can't do trades. Obviously, right now, Halliburton's not being dealt, right? It doesn't matter for 21st round picks. So how are other teams able to make trades? And even if they're not announced officially until July 1st or whatever it is, whatever the rules are, how are they even able to talk? This is a massive disadvantage for teams that are in the playoffs, in the finals. How does this happen? Do you guys have any idea how this happens? It seems insane to me.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. If this happened in the middle of a Super Bowl, people would go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Do
seen.
you
this.
think it's possible this whole thing was manufactured just so the NBA would get some buzz during the finals?
Maybe they talked about.
Maybe
this.
the ratings were so bad that they were like,
we got
The
to do
ratings
something.
aren't even that bad.
we should do the craziest, dumbest trade.
Yeah.
That way people will turn on their TVs.
4 picks for Bane. It's hard work. Good for Bane. Actually, it's not good for Bane. Well, I guess he's going
it's not.
He's
good.
going to Florida. He's going to get a better tax bracket.
Hey,
So.
and also, I just want to say, like, he's not a very popular player, but Cole Anthony is worth 3 Desmond Banes, in my opinion. I've watched him since high school.
I also really like KCP.
He's one of the most well-rounded players. And it's going to suck now that he has to play behind Ja Morant. And I guarantee you he's going to want to get out of there.
Part of this, deeper looking into it, is actually, so KCP had his worst year, and he's been a solid player, but he had his worst year in the last 10 years. And he makes a decent amount of money. And part of this is, we're going to give you this player to get rid of this salary. And so for that, we're going to compensate you. For you taking on this salary, we're going to, and so they do some of the trades are a little manipulated because of the salary situation. They did this a long time ago. Was it Oswalder or something for the Denver Broncos? They gave him a huge contract.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And this might kind of open our eyes. What's Ja Morant's contract? When does that end?
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Because I'm curious if they're trying to free up cap space.
Well, well, this is what I was wondering.
He's on the Supermax now. I
Is
think.
he?
Yeah. I think he's already on the Supermax.
Who else would they want to re-sign? Rudy Gobert?
Well, what I was wondering is they have a lot of picks now. Can they turn and do those picks to try to get an actual better
Another
player?
Superstar?
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe you go and you say, can you send to Phoenix the right package to get your Durant? Then you have Durant and Morant together.
I'd rather have
Durant.
Giannis. You
I'd
go
rather
after
have
Giannis.
I got Durant,
Giannis.
Morant.
I don't think Phoenix is going to get rid of Booker, though. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what they're thinking, so I don't really know. But it'd be interesting to see if they went. This would be funny. They go and give 3 first-round picks to get somebody better than what they gave away.
I mean, this is the thing is, with 4 first-round picks.
And they still have theirs. I mean, Memphis is
and
stacked.
a pick swap.
Yeah, and they got a pick swap. That's right. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I mean, just look at that trade. It's just like, if you're the Magic PR guy and you had to put this out,
yeah.
like how would you feel?
This versus this.
How are you getting people excited about
It's
this?
a laundry list compared to we also received Desmond Bain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to get you guys too excited, but we did get
not 17 points, not 18 points, but
some
19
guy named Desmond Bell.
points per game.
Yeah.
So
I just
and
don't see it.
40% shooting.
We gave away a bunch of stuff, and
Nuts.
for him we got some guy named Desmond Bain.
But it
I don't
shows
really know
how
who he
desperate
is.
teams are to try to compete. And I think
Yeah, but this
because
isn't-
of Tatum getting hurt, I think teams are in the East going, maybe we have a chance. We're 1 player away. And I think that's what their thinking is. It's wishful thinking.
I don't know. That's super wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing
The East is
seeing
down.
The Pacers play.
Yeah, I think that's what they're thinking. I don't agree with the thinking. It doesn't make sense to me. But Bridges, they gave. I mean, there's just people are throwing picks around. It started years ago, and now the players are getting more and more mediocre.
You know who's worth more picks that went for less though?
Who's that?
This guy. He's not that good of a basketball player. He's kind of younger. He's a little overweight.
Luka.
Yeah,
Luka. Look at what Luka got.
What about Luka? What did they get for Luka?
We got we gave
a
away
Cliff Bar.
No, we gave away a janitor. We got Anthony Davis, who's
Sucks.
when
He's
plays
Mr. Glass.
every 3 games, he is really, really good. But it's every 3 games. And other than
I'd say
that,
it's more like every 30.
Yeah, it's insane. And so, yeah, that was was it 1 pick?
1 pick.
Yeah, that's the Lakers pick is usually not great.
Not very good.
Not when you have Luka and LeBron on the team. It's not like you're going to get the number 1 pick. So crazy what the NBA is doing. Okay, Game 6. Who do you have?
Easy. Go Pacers.
Pacers. Cameron. Game 6.
Indy.
Okay, so Game 7.
Pacers.
You gotta say it. You don't believe it. You don't believe
I
it.
said
You don't
Pacers
believe
in
it.
7.
You did, but
When
you
we
don't believe it
started-
now.
When we started this podcast,
You don't believe it.
I said-
I saw your face. Watch
I
that
said
in slow
Pacers
mo.
in 7.
He's gonna go.
Cameron, do the thing. Cameron, do the thing.
Pacers. Go ahead.
Cameron, do the thing.
The thing.
Yeah.
You gonna have him in 7?
SGA.
Sucks. Is that what you're gonna say?
No.
Okay. Do you have the Pacers winning in 7?
So
It's
in-
okay
in-
to reevaluate as of now.
in a lot of finals, there's a very clear team to win.
Yes, not now.
But I want to take it back to, I believe 2015, 2016.
Are you you're going Cleveland and you're going
As much as that
Golden
hurts
State?
me to bring up, being on the bad end of that comeback.
you don't have
Comebacks are what fuels the NBA, and I think if the NBA wants to stay afloat, they
That's what I'm talking about.
they let the underdog win.
little home
You
cooking.
know, and a team from Indiana, you know, we see it in all the movies. They're meant to win. You know, you got
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
Larry Bird's from Indiana.
I can't think of any other basketball movies from Indiana. I'm sure there are other ones. But Hoosiers, they win.
Yeah.
And I like to think of Halliburton's dad as the drunk from Hoosiers.
Yeah.
That's basically that guy. So
Good
all that
reference.
to be said, I think OKC wins Game 7.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think
No. I'm
do
going back on my word.
Don't
I'm
do
going back
it!
on my word. The Pacers are going to win Game 7.
All right.
Pacers in 7.
Good luck. It could happen.
I couldn't.
I don't
It
give
could
a-
go either
I don't
way.
give a piss about nothing but Pacers. Okay.
I think Game 7 would be great, especially since it's already a little bit of a lackluster final. So Game 7 and seeing what could happen. Anything could happen. Like I said, if you don't have a veteran team,
Anything's possible.
yeah.
Shout out Tatum.
NBA
Shout out
action
Tatum.
can be fantastic when they try. So, all right, well, we'll see you next week. Again, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Share this and anything you have. If you want to make a comment, please add a comment. We'd appreciate anything you have. Rate where you put Caitlin Clark in today's athletes in the impact. I think she is up there, top 5. Cameron, big fan.
She stinks.
But Caitlin Clark, thanks for bringing viewers. As a dad who coached both boys and girls, I think it's awesome for women's sports that something that we're watching something like this. And there's been Cheryl Swoops. There's been a lot of Cheryl
that?
Miller. There's been a lot of great athletes, but nothing like Caitlin Clark. C squared. We'll see you next time. Thank you.